So, my dear Libra, you're getting a second time the Sun in Taurus giving the light to the Moon in your sign. And both are ruled by Venus, but Venus is the Empress. And so we're going to look specifically into the Empress. And last time you had already Taurus Sun giving the light to Libra Moon. And so you get a second time, which means look into the establishment, look into the beauty, look into the money, look into everything that makes your life desirable, right? Because that's what Venus brings to us. And so we will look at Venus in a minute. Here again, Taurus, the Hierophant, and you, Justice. Here we see more than justice, a balancing out of duality. The yoga position here is now a movement because the pillars are not there. You create the pillar because a movement is the new pillar that gets overthrown from the next generation that creates then their pillar. What can we do? You are here in the balancing pose, the most elegant one, right? You are on your tiptoes and you're holding the namaste in front of your heart, and you have the wheel of fortune behind you, and you know that you understand the equilibrium, the finding the balance between black and white, finding the balance between these two big pillars here as well. And so you understand that this is not just someone sitting here and doing whatever. He's very connected, right, to the outcome, to the spiritual, to the duality that we all looking after. The number 5, and you are the number 11, just that you understand. You are the Queen of Wands, is your birthday between 12th of September and the 12th of October, then this is your court card. Have a look, right? She cuts the ego off. And of course, you are, as the Libra, the one that likes beauty, the one that likes everything in an equilibrium, right? You really like to decorate your home, etc. This is something you love. But you also the 7th house of love and relationship. And so here you see how they form a diamond shape, how they form together this lovely shape. So back to the last reading, the raven brings the magic and courage to live it too. We had twice the lovers, and we had here the 9 of Pentacles, and then we had also the corn. The corn is the 10. And so you have hopefully met someone, and I hope you've fallen in love. And so we're gonna look now into Venus, and Venus is about the inner wise, the healing pharmacy, become your own healer. And we're gonna look what is coming here to you, right? There's a lot of little cards in this deck, and we have the number 97. So the 9 is the hermit and the 7 is the emotional intelligence. The 9 is the completion, the 7 is the higher spiritual aspect of your crown chakra. And calculated together we get the 16. That's the Tower, and that was Aries right before the last reading, right? Taurus Sun. And so the 97, we have here the animals, the wapiti, which is a form of a deer, And what's important here is that you understand that certain energy are here to support you in living together in a community. And there is also endurance in this card. And then adapt to the speed of things, giving and taking of energy, and to live together and to be there for each other. Now it looks like this is a continuation of here, the 2 times the 2 of cups, here and here, right? And you recognize that the 2 of cups, Venus in Cancer, is a love, a deep love, a soul-mate love, but first and foremost a love for yourself. And so the 16, the Tower, right there we have the Wheel of Fortune plus the 6, the Lovers, which is in the next reading, right? Tomorrow the Sun goes into Gemini and you're just getting an in-between reading. But the 10, the Wheel of Fortune, and the 6, the self-love that is appearing here, creates the 7, the emotional intelligence that we need to understand how can we operate, how can we live with others, like this card said, right? How can we live in a community in a way that it makes sense? And so we begin the reading. We read to the left because we're going to your new moon. You just had the full moon in your second last reading, right? You had Taurus Sun already once, and so you're getting a second time from Venus here, the Wapiti. And we are gonna start to see what is Taurus wanting to tell you a second time. And we begin through the Fool, and that foolish idea through Uranus, through the new beginning, right? Through the change, sometimes chaos, comes Leo, comes strength, comes this moment of like, you need to be strong enough to take the wand and to beat your ego that gets attached to anything that is, of course, making you dependent. And so here we get the 11. He's not the 8 in this deck. This is the Visconti Sforza, one of the oldest decks that is existing as intact deck, right? There are older ones, but they're not intact. And so here you get the 11, which is the inner knowledge, the inner wisdom that is coming to you to beat the Leo. It looks harsh to me, right? But at the same time, it's like it means to control something that's deep within you that likes to just do whatever it wants to do and doesn't understand that there is a community that we live with. And so here the Leo is facing outward. He's facing the right, the human path, that extroverted path. Meanwhile, he's like, okay, I'm gonna beat you. And yes, it doesn't look nice, right? But nevertheless, it's the 11. And with the 0, you get 110. So here, the child is plucking the fruit and is understanding something new I want to taste, right? And so here, the 11 is instantly letting you know that when you get the 7, the emotional intelligence understands this picture. That's it, right? Just understand, because you learn about it. And when we learn how this card functions, you become self-sufficient. You become self-empowered. Then speaks the Magician. The Magician says, look to the left, look to your soul. Know that the soul is bringing you Pachamama, and that's the world and the 40. the 4 elements that he has here on his table: the sword, the thinking, the cup, right, the emotions, and the wand, the action, and then of course the pentacle, the money. He's the 5th element, and so the 40 and the 1 creates a 41, and the 41 is a 5, and the 5 is that moment where you recognize again that Taurus is speaking to you one more time through the sun. Now, the magician is connected with Mercury, and Mercury is the language. Mercury is the understanding that I can communicate, right? And that the message is coming down. Now I want to know what kind of message is coming through Pachamama. Pachamama, that is looking inwards, because it's the earth, it's the world, it's the possibilities to create. And the 10 of Pentacles is coming. And Pachamama is looking at the 10 of Pentacles that is reversed here. So the 10 of Pentacles here is this community. And remember, there is this community that you now fitting into. And when you want to fit into a community, you need to adapt on a certain level. So here the 10 of Pentacles means that she is giving birth to a new member. And you see her with wide legs giving birth. But when it's reversed, it's almost like she's not ready, right? She's not ready to give birth. She's not ready to give something to this community. And so, of course, the 5 and the 10 is 15. And the 15 in the Tarot is Capricorn. And Capricorn is the social status, is the career, is the financial, climbing up the ladder, is also being attached, and is also being a cut off. And so are you cut off from your own success, the 10 of Cups? Because the 10 of Cups is Mercury in Virgo, and Mercury is the magician. And here the magician is bringing you the 4 elements with the 4 years. So it's almost like a 4-4. But we have here, of course, a 5, and the 10 is the 15, and the 6 is left. The 6 is find self-love within the community, find who you truly are, and beat that ego, and don't let it take over your life. Because then comes the High Priestess, and the High Priestess is saying, here comes the 6 of Cups. And the 6 of Cups is Sun in Scorpio. And of course we had a 6 here, right? The 4 and the 1 is the 5, and the 10 was the 15, and the 6 appeared. So we have a 6-6 portal. And of course, Scorpio is transformation, is understanding in the past things happened a certain way, but the past is finished, is done, no more past, present moment. That's why justice sits between the 2 pillars, which could be past and present. So the 6 and the 2 is an 8. The 8 is the infinite that here the magician has in his head. The 8, the infinite symbol, is difficult for most people to understand, because to really be infinite is you need to meditate and get into that infinite consciousness to really understand it. If you're like this in this world, you will never understand it, and all of this will never make sense to you. And the most important thing here is that, yes, I use yoga to show you that there is an action behind these cards, but if you learn the right way, you don't even need yoga. But most of us never learn it the right way. So yoga helps us. Yoga helps us to become a movement, to know that I have the empowerment, the self-empowerment to be a movement, and I have the empowerment deep within me to unite duality, like the yin and the yang, become one in all of this, right? And so it is a very spiritual consciousness that is teaching us here to be in the 8, to be in your emotions in the 8, but know that the intuition knows how to cut through the 6. The 6 again is, like I said, the self-love, and so 2 times 6 is be creative in the way you love yourself, and Pachamama is looking at this because here is the Lord of pleasure, and Taurus is pleasure. Taurus is Venus, is love, is beauty, is money. And what can we do with all of that? Have pleasure. Then speaks the Empress. And the Empress is saying, well, have a look. Here the Wheel of Fortune is appearing, and the Wheel of Fortune, what I'm going to do with that as an Empress, because the Wheel of Fortune is saying that everything is spinning, everything is turning, nothing stays fixed, everything is up and down, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. The 10 has been here through the 10 of Pentacles, which is richness. Rich is not here yet, but it might come. It's reverse. You are needing to heal something in your past, to let go of that, because then the 10 and the 3 is the 13, and that's again death, transformation, which came here, Sun in Scorpio. Scorpio is the transformation. Scorpio is death. That's when the leaf falls down and everything is cyclical. So know that the 10 and the 3 is 13 together. We have the 4, and that's the Emperor. These are the 4 elements, and these 4 elements are here through Pachamama, a 4-4 portal, and also, of course, remember, the Magician has all 4 elements lying on his table, and he's working with it and bringing you the spiritual message that you, right, through the Hierophant, understand that Venus is in the triangle, but here the 5 are the 5 senses, and these 5 senses need to be conquered. If we don't conquer them, we will stay a slave, like we had here, right, with Pachamama, with the 10 of Pentacles. And this slavery, one second, this slavery, like this kind of slavery is saying, well, that's the devil, but the devil doesn't exist. The devil is something that we do deep within us, and if we don't do it, then the money is not appearing. You will not have the money that you thought. So think about to turn this around and to give birth to this community. It's apparently important, because this is the Vapiti that brings you the healing. And if you don't heal, then, well, here we will see that the Wheel of Fortune is Jupiter. It's expanding. If you participate or not, it's expanding, it's growing, it's giving birth to multiple ideas for those who dare. If you don't dare, it will not come to you. And then says Taurus, then things are gonna be really fast, coming at you, shifting you, the 10 and the 8, the 18 in your subconscious. You see all of a sudden things are gonna be like electricity, coming really fast. And the 5 and the 8 is again the 13, and the 13, like I said, is here the 4. Then we have again a 4-4-4 portal, 3 times the 4. You empower yourself, right, to be in your heart, to be loving even when things really happen fast, and you see how the wands are rushing to the 10, to Jupiter, to the transformation that you're supposed to be doing. Do it. Let it happen, the transformation, and become a 4. And then here Taurus will make a 4 out of you again. So that's what you show to the world, that you are action oriented, that you can do it, and not only that you can do it, but you want to do it, because then speaks the Queen of Swords here with the 5 of Wands. And the 5 of Wands plus the 8 Wands, again, here we get 13 Wands. Guess what? Another 4 is appearing, right? And so 4 times 4 is like, I'm in my heart. I do what I feel like doing because I want to do it. And so here the 5 and the 7 zodiac sign is the 12th. And the 12th is the spirituality and the art to create whatever it is that you want to create in the emotions. Because here we take actions, right? Here we think about it. But deep down, you know that you cut his head off, but his head is still on. It's just a menacing kind of, well, I'm gonna cut your head off. But you cannot cut someone's head off, right? It would be like, it would be awful, right? It would be horrible. But here we have Saturn in Leo, and Saturn is the world. The world is tough. The world is testing. The world is always like, well, are you good enough with what you have? Well, let's test it. And so the 5 of Wands is always a test, and this test has been proven through the 5 elements, right? If something brings you happiness in all of your 5 elements, you can pretty much sell it, right? And so this is what's talking here through the Queen of Swords. Now here the 12 becomes the 3. And guess what? The 3 was here in the community, that you feel comfortable. You can maybe bring whatever it is that you want to bring into this world and test it into action. And then speaks Libra, right? Libra as a soul speaks to you. The 4 of coins is coming here. And the 4 of coins is, of course, connected with the 10 of coins, 14 coins, right? That's Sun in Capricorn. And Sun in Capricorn means that you, for some reason, establish yourself again through Pachamama, working in a good way with Pachamama, seeing that everything has its moment, right? That all the 13s turned into a 4 in the end. When you go through a transformation, what's waiting on the other side? The Emperor, Aries, the mind that can create whatever it wants to create, right? And so 10 and 4 is 14, is temperance, is being modest, but at the same time knowing that your product is a good product, and then bring it out there and just give birth to it. Don't worry too much, right? You are in a way of like, well, I should have money to make money. No, you don't need money to make money. You need to be clever to make money. And so here the 5 is left, and the 5 is here, right? And that's always the Hierophant. That's always the 5 senses. And so here, don't hold on to things, right? Because it's not a cool trait to hold on of things. It's a little stingy. Don't be stingy, right? Because here we have the moon in your subconscious. Let go of the stinginess, because the world is rich. This world is so rich, and we can really tap into it. But at one point, give that riches back. And this is what's talking through the 10 of Pentacles. You're so rich that you give back to those who are not as fortunate as you. Use your money in a good way, and then it will be blessed, right? Then the 5 is left. Then you have spiritual money. Then speaks, of course, the moon. The moon as a subconscious brings you here the hollow bone, the teachability. Now, teachability is something that when you learn to work with money, then you understand that the 28 has the 20, the last call or the calling, the last judgment, and the 8, the strength, calculated together again at 10. The 10 and the 18 is the 28 again, and so the 28 is the 10. The 10 is left, and the 10 is saying, well, then you find to the bone the answer of what you want to do. And I want to know what you want to do, and deep in your subconscious the moon is coming, and the moon is in your sign because the 4 of Pentacles is here with the moon speaking to you that you have Sun in Capricorn. Remember, you had the 15, which is Capricorn, which is the attachment to success. Don't get attached to success. Success comes or doesn't come. And if it comes, you need to be ready for it, because it can destroy your life to the bone. And so you need to be understanding what is still holding you back in your subconscious. What is there that you need to clear? The 18, the 9, right? The 10 and the 9 is the 19. That's the Sun. Show yourself. Then the 10 is left. And so the 10 and the 9 again is again the 19, and the 10 is left. So here a 10 is clearly letting you know you need to understand what a 10 means. A 10 means a new beginning. A 10 means that you have understood the 1. And when you understand the 1, which has come here, the 11, 2 times the 1, then you understand that you need to constantly fight this, because it will destroy you. Even you have a lot of money, it will completely destroy you. And so the Sun says, then in your older age, you see that here the 29 becomes an 11, the 19 becomes a 10. And if you take the 0 away, we get 3 times the 1. And so we have 5 times the 1. And 5 times the 1, you understand that in the old age, what's important is the 6 birds that she is ready to let one arrive while the other one leaves. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. And she knows. She is at that age where she can deal with a lot of money, because you also had a 1 here. So it's just 5 times the 1. It's 6 times the 1. The third eye knows exactly, right, what's going on. And so here you see that she is halfway in the water. Her emotions are secure. She really knows what she's doing, because here the 11 and the 6 could be a date. The 11th of June and the 6th of November, right? Because she's in the water, and the 6 of Cups is being deep in the water, is using your intuition, your feelings, what gives you that first feeling to understand how things are working. And so here she is, right? This woman. But I wanted to see what is this woman bringing to you, right, in her stage. And you get here the Daughter of Swords. And that's you. As a young girl, you asked for things and things came to you. Now here we have, of course, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So there could be help through a Gemini. There could be help through Aquarius, but this is you. And even though you're older, there is a young you inside of you that is going to the world, that is showing to the soul that I can do it. Whatever it is I want to do, I can do it. And so the 10, right, and the 11 is 3 times the 1, which is a 3 portal. But I don't calculate that together, right? I keep the 3 times 1 and here's the 3. The 3 zodiac signs, each one gets one of these ones, of these 3 ones. And so here you see that Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius are helping you with what are you doing here, right? In the water, in the creation, you are creating, you are knowing how to make things move, because then we see that the world is bringing you the 8 of Pentacles, and you had 10 Pentacles, and you had 4 Pentacles, right? Which is here then 22 Pentacles. Guess what? 22 is the Fool. 22 is here Leo, the 11th major arcana. You need to work on your ego, because if you don't work on your ego, you will never make it. You will never be a master and have all that money, because it's reverse, right? If this card would have come up upright, I would have said, wow, you have that money, but you don't have it yet, but you want to. And so the world is saying 21 and 8 is 29, right? Well, guess what? 29, you in the old age, you can be rich if you allow not the ego to interfere in what you're doing. You need to really understand the 11, the inner wisdom, the knowledge, and then the 22 will teach you, will bring you here the deeper understanding, right? Because the 8 and the 3 is the 11 again. And so here we have an 11 portal closing the reading. Look at this. It's like it's clear. You need to be in a circle. You need to understand how the 8 is infinite, the 8 and the 3, right? Or here the 29 also, right? I could make here a 3 and the 8 is the 11, or the 29 is the 11. It doesn't matter, right? 11 portal. Look at you. And you know that something has talked to you through the Pentacles. The Pentacles is like, well, I want all this money. 22. Yes, if you want all this money, you need to understand the ego. And if you don't understand the ego, it will crush you. It will really kill you. It will make out of you the nastiest person there is, because that's what money does. What do you think? You think only really beautiful people are gonna come to you and be like, oh, so beautiful that you have all this money? No, everybody wants your money, and you're gonna need a lot of arms to handle all that money, to handle all that responsibility, that work. There is a lot of work with a lot of money. That's why this card came upside down. Now, are you ready for this? Because it's a 1. And here we have the 1 many times coming up. It's not a game anymore. The 5 of Wands, right? It's not Saturn in Leo where it's like, oh, well, whatever. It's really intense. And so since she's coming up, I think you're able to do it, because she's also an 11, the 29. And here the 29. 29, 11. And again, here the 11. I mean, it's clear. So choose the right community where you can be who you are. No one is suspecting of you anything, but they want to be with you because you're just so cool, not because you have money. And then this card will turn around, because the 1 and the 0 can also be a 0 and a 1. And so be foolish enough to know that the 1 is here in this card. If we turn it around, the 1 is in the front and the 0 is behind. So which way do you want it, right? Of course, you want it like this. So do it. Just do it. And you will see that then you play with the 6, self-love. Self-love is really important, and understanding that everything comes back, even the 6 of Cups, right? Here, the Lord of Pleasure comes back if you have understood how to tame your ego. Wow. I hope I see you in the next reading. We get the 6, right? That's Gemini, and Gemini is the Knight of Swords, and the Knight of Swords is searching and searching. But remember, here we have the 16, the 6 is in there as well, but the 7, the emotional intelligence, will help you to get there. Until then, I thank you so much for being with me. Namaste.